A very good evening to all our viewers and welcome to a brand new edition of News First Weekend, coming to you live from our Newsfirst studios in Colombo. I'm Naika. Let's start off with a look at the stories making headlines this evening.
16 SLFP ministers inform President that they are ready to leave their positions. UNP restructuring extensively discussed at Temple Trees. 4 associates of notorious underworld bosses arrested. Met Department forecasts heavy showers for many areas.
Now the stories in detail. The UNP Working Committee and the UNP Parliamentary Group held extensive discussions at Temple Trees today on restructuring the United National Party. A decision had been reached to appoint a 12-member leadership council by the title of Political Council for the UNP at this meeting.
A
decision has been reached to fill the position of Chairman and General Secretary by the 30th of April, apart from the positions of Party Leader, Deputy Leader, Assistant Leader. Apart from the Party Leader, Deputy Leader and Assistant Leader, new appointment will be made to the post of Chairman and General Secretary of the party. Today, measures were taken to appoint a political council which will have the power to take decisions and work with the Party Leader, Deputy Leader, Assistant Leader and Chairman of the party. This was done in a secret vote with the presence of parliamentarians. The 12-member council will comprise of ministers, state ministers, deputy ministers and parliamentarians. Their cabinet ministers Mangala Samaravira, Ranjit Maduma Bandara, Naveen Dissanayaka, Gayantha Karunatilaka, Harin Fernando, Akila Karyawasam, as well as state ministers Ruwan Wijewardena, Eran Wickramaratne, Ajit P. Pereira, Deputy Minister J.C. Alawatuwala and MPs Nalin Bandara and Ashoka Priyantha.
Now, 16 ministers and MPs representing the Sri Lanka Freedom Party have informed the President they are prepared to leave their posts and withdraw from the government. However, a final decision on this matter is yet to be made.
The 16 SLF ministers and MPs voted in favour of the motion of no confidence presented against Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe. 26 others, including the General Secretary of the Sri Lanka Freedom Party as well as the General Secretary of the United People's Alliance, abstained from casting their votes.
When we met the President in the morning, it was decided as a party to refrain from casting the vote. At the meeting on the 2nd, I said if we are casting the vote, we should resign from our ministerial positions. That morning, they said the group was not adequate. This is said by the group led by Minister S.P. Dissanayaka and Deputy Speaker Tilanga Sumatipala. It was then that we decided to abstain during the vote.
Following the conclusion of the motion of no confidence against the Prime Minister, 21 UNP backbench parliamentarians presented a motion of no confidence against the 16 SLFP members who voted in favour of the motion which was presented against the Prime Minister. This motion was against the 15 ministers, State Minister and Deputy Minister of the Sri Lanka Freedom Party as well as against the Deputy Speaker. Though it was handed over to the Speaker yesterday, it was reported last evening that the Prime Minister had instructed to withdraw the motion. In a media release sent out by the Director General of Government Information, it was stated the Prime Minister has said that a parliamentary group meeting should have been held before handing over such a letter, and it had not taken place.
We have submitted a letter to the President, who is the leader of the party, citing we are prepared to leave our positions when reaching a decision. We casted our vote setting aside all positions and perks. It is better if they proceed with the no-confidence motion against us without withdrawing it. We did have sufficient time to speak when the motion against the Prime Minister took place. We have many things to say.
However, the 16 SLF members are of the stance the no-confidence motion against them should be debated in Parliament. The Central Working Committee of SLFP will be meeting on Monday and the matter will be discussed then.
Media movements as well as public representatives have urged that action be taken against those who acted in an unruly manner opposite the head office of the MTV-MBC networks.
The National Movement of Web Journalists Sri Lanka, issuing a release this morning, said it vehemently condemns the efforts to intimidate the staff at MTV Network. The movement says it is the responsibility of all stakeholders to work with an open mind, taking into consideration the dangerous message that is hidden behind these incidents. Public representatives also expressed views regarding the mob attack at the MTV-MBC head office complex. We condemn that act. That is not something that is new to the United National Party. Every politician needs to be able to tolerate the opposing views. The government hopes to bend the media to their side through actions of this nature, or else they want to silence the media. You cannot control the emotions of the people by doing such things. We have to remind the general public that this is yet another incident in the history where the UNP tries to suppress the media of this country. The media has a right and the freedom to decide what they reveal. The people of this country will condemn this act if that freedom is attacked using mobs and if a media institution is surrounded. The people who respect that freedom will condemn this act. We as a political party would like to request the people to step forward to protect the freedom of the media while condemning this threat that was levelled against Sirasa. We do not accept this. If there was a victory, there is a way to celebrate that victory. We should not go back to what happened in the past. I am saddened if something happened to a private property of someone, in addition to what happened to Sirasa. As a party, this is something that should not happen. We are disappointed about what happened opposite the head office of the Capital Maharaja organization. Whatever the media station is, there should be media freedom. The President and the Prime Minister should act for media freedom. We are disappointed about such acts happening at this time. We are saddened about what happened to Sirasa after the no confidence motion. We did not hope for this under the good governance government. Do not turn this good governance into bad governance. We ask this from the Prime Minister. The law should be enacted against them. The media freedom is something that the people of this country need. No party or no leader can allow such things to happen. We will act strongly against such acts. We will act to the best of our ability to take action against this.
Political commentators and party representatives state, though the Prime Minister survived the motion of no confidence, the political crisis is yet to be resolved.
Many assume all the issues have been resolved after Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe survived the motion of no confidence. Several more volcanoes will erupt come next week. The motion of no confidence does not relate to the issues faced by the people in the country. Rogues proposed to chase away a thief. All the other thieves banded together and defeated it. Though they enjoyed themselves by lighting firecrackers, the issues remain, and in a week or two we can see how parties split and crossovers, which will bring back the issue. Therefore, if the issues on policy are not solved, there will be no end to the political crisis. We request from the people to get an understanding on the issues that affect them rather than wasting time on other matters. Although he survived the motion of no confidence by undermining the conscience with money and power in Parliament, it will not feed the people of this country. It will not solve the issues. At a time when the MPs and ministers defeat the no confidence motion to protect the corrupt thief who looted the central bank in broad daylight, we do not see any intervention made by them to protect the farmers.
The World Health Day was celebrated in Colombo today under the auspices of President Maithripala Sirisena. Director General of the World Health Organization, Dr. Tedros Adhanom, also graced the occasion.
The event to mark the 70th anniversary as well as the World Health Day was held at the Nelum Pokuna Theatre today. Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe, representatives of the World Health Organization and health ministers from 12 nations attended the event.
The country is now better prepared for disasters and is more resilient. However, we continue to face the adverse effects of climate change and need to further strengthen our preparedness and response capacity. Access to timely data and information and its use for decision making needs to be strengthened further to improve the efficiency and effectiveness of our health system.
The whole gamut of health has changed. It's no longer the primary issues, healthcare or malaria that we face. We have a different range of problems, ranging from healthcare for the seniors into introducing the new technology available in the world. Now, delivering this health service is a major issue, and that the government has focused on facing this challenge.
Universal access to good quality health services improves health and well-being, a fundamental human right. Healthier populations, in turn, create more productive economies that raise living standards. Nevertheless, as we mark World Health Day and focus on this year's theme, let us also appreciate an important truth: that to be credible, a promise must be based on trust. It must be based on the trust and belief that concerted action is being taken to achieve that specific end. It is therefore fitting that this event should be held here in Sri Lanka, a country that has long championed UHC's revolutionary power and potential.
UNP Leadership Council under the name of Political Council appointed. Council comprises 12 members. Do you recall a similar council being appointed in 2013, led by Karu Jayasuriya? What happened to that council? Will the appointment of yet another similar council bring about true restructuring in the United National Party?
On to another one of our headline-making stories. The Department of Meteorology says showers or thunder showers will occur over most provinces and requests the general public to take adequate precautions to minimize damages caused by lightning activity. Last evening, a youth died after being struck by lightning.
Samita Prashanta was a 19-year-old from Valiaya, Meghalaya. Samita and two others had taken refuge at a makeshift hut located on higher ground in the middle of a paddy field when it had started to rain last evening. An eyewitness said as soon as the trio entered the hut, lightning struck an adjacent tree and all three fell on the ground. It was raining and they all went into the hut. At once there was a lightning strike and it affected Samita. All three were unconscious. Two of them regained consciousness after 5 minutes. They were taken to the hospital. Samita had already passed away when being taken to the Meghalaya Regional Hospital. The highest recorded rainfall during the past 24 hours was reported from Yatiyantota. Gale winds that swept across the Yatiyantota divisional area damaged over 60 houses and uprooted more than 200 rubber trees. Gale winds uprooted trees in the Galapathagama and Garagoda areas, causing damages to 28 houses while 15 houses were destroyed. A school and a co-will was also damaged. 18 affected families have been moved to temporary shelters and measures have been taken by the Divisional Secretary to provide cooked meals to the affected. The Disaster Management Centre, the Yatiyantota Divisional Secretariat, the Pradesh Sabha and the Estate Superintendents coordinated the efforts to remove the debris in the affected areas. Measures will be taken by authorities to estimate the damages tomorrow and operations are underway to restore electricity to the area. The Met Department states, due to a low-level atmospheric disturbance to the southeast of Sri Lanka, showery condition is expected to enhance, particularly in the eastern, southeastern and southern sea areas. It adds heavy falls above 100 millimeters can be expected at some places, particularly in the central, Sabaragamuwa, southern and Uva provinces, and fairly heavy falls of about 75 millimeters can be expected at some places in the eastern coastal areas. The department said showers or thunder showers will occur in the southern, eastern and Uva provinces in the morning.
In a developing story this evening, 4 associates of underworld bosses Markandure Madush and Anguda Lokha were arrested by the Mirihana Special Investigations Unit today.
This morning, personnel attached to the Mirihana Police Special Investigation Unit raided a house in Hibutana, Angoda and made the arrest. A locally manufactured revolver which can use T-56 bullets 10 T56 bullets, 2 kg of Kerala ganja worth 2 million rupees, a live hand grenade, a gas mask and 11 mobile phones were seized by the police.
Four close associates of two organised criminals, Makandure Madush and Angodaloka, were arrested. Both these criminals have fled the country and are hiding overseas. The 11 mobile phones will be handed over to the CID for investigations, and the communications they had with criminals will be looked into.
The police spokesperson elaborated on several murders steered by these criminals.
These criminals are wanted for the shootout with police narcotics bureau officers in Piliyandal last year, as well as the ambush on the prison's bus in Kalutara, as well as the murder of underworld criminal Kosmalli. It has been revealed these criminals are involved in the murder of a woman last year inside a salon in Athurugiriya. Investigations have also revealed they were involved in the shooting of a couple in Talangama last February. Investigations have uncovered these crimes have been steered by Madush and Angodaloka. These criminals are wanted for a series of other crimes as well. Angodaloka is in India and Madush is in Dubai. It has come to light, in addition to operating a drug network in Sri Lanka, they are operating drug rings in those countries as well.
Authorities now believe the 3 Chinese nationals who had almost ₹1 billion in their bank accounts in Sri Lanka are part of an international organised criminal enterprise. Investigations have revealed the men were involved in purchasing and selling gems. Newsfirst Zulfikar Khan filed this report.
On the 15th of March, the Financial Intelligence Unit of Sri Lanka at the Central Bank had made a complaint to the Financial Crimes Investigations Division citing suspicious transactions in accounts maintained by 3 Chinese nationals at a private bank in Colombo 3. 2 of these Chinese nationals, Wei Bin Liu and Su Jiangzhang, were arrested by the police FCID on the 5th of April and produced before court, and they have been remanded until the 12th of April. The other suspect, Bing Huang, is currently overseas. According to the statements recorded by the police FCID, suspects Wei Bin Liu and Su Jiangzhang had been visiting Sri Lanka since 2017, and details in their visas have been proven to be false. The investigations have revealed these Chinese men had wired money from their bank accounts in China to an agent by the name Zhang Yumin, who thereafter wires the payment to a person in Madagascar, who then sends gems to Sri Lanka. After obtaining the gems, the suspects had sold them to Chinese tourists and traders in Sri Lanka, and these transactions had taken place in hotels in Colombo. The suspects have so far failed to declare how they obtained the money to purchase the gems and the details of their sales. Detectives have uncovered the day after the investigations commenced, the suspects had launched a company together with a Sri Lankan partner and obtained a license from the National Gem and Jewellery Authority. The local bank accounts of all 3 suspects have been frozen, and as of the date of freezing the accounts, suspect Su Jiangzhang had 365 million rupees in his account from the 30th of September last year, and suspect Wei Bin Liu had 201 million rupees in his account. As of now, all 3 accounts contain a total of 958 million rupees. In addition, one of the suspects was arrested along with 8 other Chinese passports. The Police Financial Crimes Investigation Division had informed court these are punishable offences under the Prevention of Money Laundering Act and the Immigrants and Emigrants Act. The FCID is continuing investigations as they believe the suspects are a part of an international organised criminal enterprise.
Former opposition leader of the Kalaniya Pradesh Sabha, Sumangala Samarbida, speaking to reporters, commented on the following.
There is a group in the Kalaniya Pradesh Sabha and the Paliagoda Pradesh Sabha who were treated unjustly at the local government polls. Sarath Fonseca teamed up with George Pereira to appoint their own list of members for the Kalaniya Pradesh Sabha. When the UMP was fading away, I did not offer money to Sirikota to be the opposition leader. The party did not look at us. Though we say this to the leaders in the party, nothing transpires. We work to project the UMP. If we are attacked, we return it. Though lists were made, those lists were not allowed to enter. They allowed defeated members to proceed. If the party is following the path of casting us aside, we call on Sajith Premadasa and Akila Viraj Kariyavasam to protect the party supporters. If the party supporters are ruined, it will be their downfall.
It's been a month and 28 days since local government elections took place. However, in certain areas, the struggle to establish control continues.
The Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna secured 18 seats to obtain more than 50% of the votes to establish power in the Ambalantota Pradesh Sabha. Darshana Sanjeeva, who was appointed as the chairman of the Pradesh Sabha, assumed duties today. However, the deputy chairman and 3 other members from the same party, as well as the opposition, did not attend this occasion. The Elections Commission states the Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna is yet to announce the heads of 3 separate local government bodies, which they secured more than 50% of the votes. These local government bodies are the Balapitiya, Bentota and Anamaduwa Pradesh Sabhas. The National Elections Commission says as the SLPP secured majority seats in those local government bodies, a vote is not requested for the appointment of chairman. It added despite the matter being conveyed to the secretary of the party, the commission has not yet received a response.
We feel there is a force which is working towards giving positions to those who do not meet the criteria. If a clear decision is not taken, this will affect the party in the future elections.
When contacted, SLPP Secretary Sagara Karyavasam said the delay is due to issues among the members elected to those local government bodies. According to the legislation pertaining to local government authorities, if there is a continuous delay in appointing heads to local government bodies, the National Elections Commission is vested with the power to appoint the individual who secured the highest votes from the victorious party as the chairman of the local government body.
Minister P. Haddison says that party leaders are directing their attention on holding the provincial council elections according to the previous system due to the current state of affairs.
A proposal was made at the party leaders meeting yesterday to hold the provincial council elections as per the old system. However, we need to see if it will be consistent with the constitution. The proposal is being discussed at present.
Over the recent months, Newsfirst reported on the continuous losses incurred by Sri Lankan Airlines. The recent statements by its new chairman bears testament to our revelations. In 2015, we revealed to the nation the details of the infamous central bank treasury bond scam. It is now accepted if authorities acted back then, the country would not be facing the present state of affairs. The following revelation is for the attention of the new chairman of Sri Lankan Airlines.
Sri Lankan Airlines attracted negative attention over the years mainly due to incurring massive losses, mismanagement and inefficiency of its board of directors. Though some say they saved the national airline from the grip of the family, the only significant achievement made by the board of directors appointed by the Prime Minister was to make continuous losses. During the period of the former board of directors, many weak decisions were taken which attributed to the airline to suffer massive losses. The first was the cancellation of aircraft orders without any understanding. In 2016, 2,562 million rupees had to be paid as a fine, and in 2017, the fine rose to 14,363 million rupees. Sri Lankan Airlines was among the top in the list of airlines which ordered A350 Airbuses. Since there is a high demand for A350 Airbuses, other airlines pay close attention to any airline that cancels an order. Experts in the industry say a slot in the order list is worth around 15 to 20 million US dollars. They claim the board of directors at Sri Lankan Airlines had not made any attempt to find a potential client and negotiate the matter to avoid a massive loss. Another controversial decision taken by the former board of directors was to release for a period of 6 years 3 A330 planes which are 18 years old. For such aircraft, a high maintenance cost is required and there is a lack of credibility when flying such old aircraft. An airline always makes an attempt to keep its fleet of planes at a very young age, which results in attracting more customers. However, the decision taken by the board of Sri Lankan Airlines had distanced passengers from the airline rather than attracting them. At a recent media briefing, the new chairman of Sri Lankan Airlines commented on the losses incurred.
Today the airline is incurring losses, huge losses. The last year's losses, the year that we finished, is roughly around $100 million. So, and we have huge debts totaling to about $750 million. And we have also aircrafts which the consultants have pointed out are not suited for the routes, some of the routes that we are really flying.
The previous administration of Sri Lankan Airlines had also lost an income of more than $100 million in ticket sales due to weak ticket sales management. This list goes on. The board of directors appointed by the Prime Minister have cost the country more than $100 million and moved the pride of the nation, Sri Lankan Airlines, into more disrepute. Will all these wrongs be rectified simply because they are removed? It is not the national carrier or the general public who should be held responsible for the waste and corruption. It is the administration and the political authority who provided leadership to them that needs to be held accountable. Can the simple move of changing the chairman of the airline rectify fraud, corruption and irregularities? The Prime Minister is the minister responsible for the economy. It is because the President understood the decisions being taken were harmful to the country, he abolished the Economic Committee of which the Prime Minister was the chair. Will the waste and destruction come to an end simply because that committee was abolished? The bond scam was marred with bribery and corruption. That was the cause of the no confidence motion and it was defeated. Does it mean the bond scam never took place? They are attempting to establish this fact in the country.
Well, that's a look at Weekend Primetime News for this Saturday evening. Thank you very much for joining us. Good night.